Welcome to the Hustle HQ podcast, where life, fitness, and business come together. We're here to bring you stories and strategies to help you break your barriers and unlock your full potential. I'm Connor Wigren. Let's get into it. Eric, welcome to the show. Guys, Eric owns Next Level Marketing, but mostly what I want to talk to him about today is his massive weight loss journey. Eric literally turned into a new man, and I like to say he reverse aged. So Eric, go ahead and introduce yourself. Anything you want anyone to know about you, go ahead and say that now.
Awesome. Well, I'm Eric Parent, the Smooth Bear on the internet. And yeah, I think, what I really want everyone to know, I want to start right away. First of all, I have this bonsai tree right here. And I wanted to give you this as a gift.
Thank you very much.
I did a little microphone tap. Sorry about that.
You're good.
Can you pass that down to Connor? So
it'll be in every podcast now.
Yeah, good. Well, actually, unfortunately, it does not thrive indoors, so it will have to be an outdoor tree. But it's a really easy tree to take care of. It's a Portugalera afra, and it's for the reason that I brought it for you, and I give that as a gift a lot of times, is bonsai taught me a ton of lessons about fitness, actually, believe it or not, and business. In bonsai, you have to take care of the tree. It doesn't require too much effort, but the decisions that you make have kind of lasting impacts for the future of the tree. For example, growing, there's a kind of a low branch there that it looks probably small to you. Yeah, exactly. That the bigger one, and it takes a while to grow a branch. And for example, if you don't make trims often enough, it will get really leggy and really long, and then you have to kind of trim everything back. And really, the quickest way to grow a good bonsai tree is to do the hard work all along, and to take your time, to do it right, and to follow the process. And so that's what really started me on my fitness journey.
Really?
When I first started losing weight, I got really into bonsai in the beginning of COVID, and for some reason, I just kind of saw the way in a tree, and it affected me. Like I don't even know how to describe it. Like the universe was calling to me somehow. And
so to take care of this tree, do I trim these branches for this branch to grow, or are you saying trim this like eventually?
So it's a really nuanced thing, and there's people that are really passionate about it. But I will say the biggest thing is that you pick which branches you want. This one's a very young tree, or actually the trunk is quite old, probably about 20 years old. But the new branches I have grown myself.
Really?
And so really, if one's growing a little long, you just trim it a little bit back. And this one you can trim many, many times per week. Or you can let it grow a little bit. You can.
Does it grow relatively fast then?
It grows very fast. It's as far as bonsai trees go, it's one of the easiest to grow.
Okay.
All you really have to do is like let it sit on a porch. That's why I give it as a gift.
Yeah.
As long as it gets, I know you. I don't know if you guys have like a porch where you get rain.
Yeah.
It will get rain. So if it can get rain and sun, that's the best scenario.
Sweet.
But and then you don't even have to water it. You can just leave it out there.
Okay.
So just trim it if you think it needs a trim, and that's really the first step. And
would you trim this right here? Is it good?
Yes, exactly. I left that one on because ideally every branch you want to trim down to 2 leaves. So if you were doing it like correctly, that's how you would do it. You would basically go down and and I'll show you this afterwards, but you take the scissors and go right down to where there's just 2 leaves on there. And essentially those 2 leaves will become 2 new branches. And then so slowly over time, you're kind of creating this, every cut makes 2 new ones, and every cut makes 2 new ones, and you make this kind of nice canopy.
That's my buddy used to say that in business. Every customer, if you treat them well, take good care of them, 2 new ones, 2 new ones, 2 new ones.
There's this, I don't remember who says it, but I learned it from the Joe Rogan podcast. And I can't remember who he attributes the quote to, but it's once you see the way, you see it in all things. Yeah. And for me, exactly what you're saying. I see that in business. I see it in fitness. I see it in everything. It's like unlocked this thing for me where I was like, oh gosh, like the decisions that I make today matter in the future. It's like surprising. I've told stories about my fitness journey before, and doing it for my kids has entered the conversation really fast. A lot of reasons, energy levels and all this stuff, and a love for the hobby of fitness, but really, it was the bonsai tree was the kind of the first entry into it.
So what got you, like, What was your like aha moment? I need to start losing weight and change my life a little bit. I mean, because I'm not kidding. You look like a new man.
Thank you. It was, so, I mean, to discuss a little numbers, because I'm proud of them. I was 350 pounds when I first was trimming trees out in my yard. And yeah, I mean, I was trimming, I had this kind of this thought about, like I was just saying about the following the process of kind of trusting the process of the trees. And, I had learned a lot about it, and I really wanted to, kind of apply that lesson to other parts of my life. And one that was kind of glaringly obvious to me was that I was, pretty overweight.
Now, were you happy? Did you feel like...
What's weird is I did feel like I was happy. And I mean, when I look back at pictures,
all your posts seem like you were a pretty go-lucky, happy guy.
And honestly, eating poorly was kind of part of my brand. And... and, drinking and, everything, just living the life and being the life of every party, I felt was like who I am as a person.
Okay.
And to be honest, that's made being this person that you see in front of you today kind of difficult for me, because most of my friends were built around, actually, I mean, this is a great segue. Most of my friends were built around partying, drinking.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't, even now, like, I don't really drink. I haven't had a drink. It's been almost 2 years. And I still, I'm not like against drinking, but I just haven't, because like next week I'm going to deadlift and I want to make sure I get new gains. Yeah, exactly. And
there's like new things that are more important.
Yeah, right, exactly. And so it's the same reason I don't eat an entire cake anymore.
And drinking slows you down. Like,
it slows me down for sure.
So there's some drinking in my family that I was like never like super big fan of, because when you see it firsthand, you're like, okay, that's not good.
Right.
So I never drank a lot. Now I'm not against it like you. I'll go out randomly and have some drinks.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah.
But man, do I suffer that next day.
Yeah.
I mean, Kaylee and I, we go out with the owner of Precision, Kyle and Caitlin.
Sure.
And I don't know why, but Kyle makes me have a good time. I just always have a good time when I'm with him. And that also has too many drinks involved. And it was like a couple weeks ago, woke up on like a Wednesday morning, and I'm like, oh shit, my back. Like, just hurts all over. And I think I'm like, there's people that live like this on a weekly basis. Yeah. That their Friday, Saturday is to go out and party.
Yeah.
And I wonder, like, do they even know they feel like shit anymore?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think so. I don't think so. And like, to go back to the kind of previous, when I was 350, I didn't really think of myself as being heavy, or I mean, I did think of myself as being heavy, but I didn't think of myself as being unhappy, or that it was affecting my life in any kind of way. Things like digestion. I mean, I'm not going to be gross, but you know what I mean? It's like, you just kind of accept this as part of life, and then this is what it's like. And I didn't even know the problems that I was experiencing until like you kind of remove all that stuff. And then you're like, holy crap, like my life is totally different.
So what was the big, like, if it wasn't like the unhappiness, what was like the change? Well,
I mean, again, I there's a couple different stories, but probably the real, like, always what sticks out in my mind is there was this, it was like Donuts with Dad's Day for my kid at school. Okay. And he was in VPK, and he said he filled out this form, this thing they give to the dad when you show up. And the idea is like, oh, we're gonna, talk about some of our favorite things about Dad. Well, on mine, he wrote, we have a great relationship, but he wrote, Dad likes to be outside, because what did he say? Dad's favorite hobbies are like playing outside. And I used to go outside because I was angry. I was like, that's not my favorite hobby. My favorite hobby is playing Minecraft with my kids. My favorite hobby is, and I had this kind of like, this awareness that my son was like watching everything I was doing. Yeah. And like his opinion of me was like based on, he said that I like digging ditches, and it was like, man, I don't like doing that. I like being with you. I mean, I like playing, doing stuff.
Why do you write you like digging ditches?
Because I was getting into bonsai trees, and I was like out there like, gardening all the time. And I was just out there like trying to find useful ways to spend my time that were better than, I was like trying to figure it all out, like how to spend my time without drinking all the time. And
you were just kind of putting things in place too.
Yeah. And I'm like, what would be a better hobby than, what do I want him to see me doing? What would be something where like he would watch that and be like, oh, I'm going to do that. And it was, it just felt like really obviously fitness. And I always have run. I've been a runner. I've enjoyed running, cardio. I've always liked. And so I started running, but then it would be like raining. And so I got a gym membership, and my friend Shane, your friend as well, Shane, who has been a huge part of my fitness journey, he told me, and when I shared with him that I was doing the elliptical, and he said, that's for divorced dads. He said, why don't you be a real man and do the row machine or something like that. I can't remember exactly what he said, but something to that effect, because we have that kind of relationship. And so I moved to the row machine, and I just started to kind of like get down the rabbit hole of like doing more than just the bare minimum at the gym. And, actually, again, I owe Fitness Society a huge debt of gratitude, because you guys, I don't even know if you guys know why I think you guys have done so well.
Let's hear it.
I have it's a little bit of a marketing, just from my marketing perspective, you guys are a textbook example of how to use community building, culture, and merchandise, and apparel. Fitness Society, somewhere in between some of these conversations we've just been talking about, I discovered, I think Callie was the first person I talked to, but you and Callie at the South Store. Yeah. And it was one of the first times I ever felt welcomed by the fitness community. The gym to me felt like a very cold place in the beginning. Nobody's really...
Everyone has their headphones on, hooked up, working out.
Exactly. And I expected there to be like more of like a friendship vibe there. Again, I'm kind of coming out of the bars, and I'm thinking like everyone's going to be cool, and nobody was cool, or that was my perception. Yeah.
But now people are pretty cool.
Now that I feel like I have to kind of drive that coolness or whatever. I have to go up to them and say hello. But yeah, people are cool now. But in the beginning, Fitness Society was the only way that I could kind of prove that I was cool, is I would wear a Fitness Society tank top or whatever. I mean, you guys saw me out. I was wearing them all the time. And I really wanted people to know that I was into fitness, And if I saw other people in Fitness Society shirts, I would be like, let's do a dap or whatever.
That is exactly, that's our goal. We want everyone connecting through Fitness Society. We want everyone to feel welcome coming in, obviously, like you felt welcome, because I don't think anyone should feel excluded from health and fitness. Like my honest goal is to get the whole community of Melbourne into health and fitness. So I'm super glad you felt that way. And I'm super glad you're dabbing up people that are also wearing Fitness Society, because that extends the community past the doors of Fitness Society.
It was huge for me. It was huge for me. You guys were, I hope this doesn't embarrass you, but I would describe you guys as like these young, beautiful kids that were just like hustling and fitness focused.
And
I'm
young
like,
and beautiful.
Yeah, dude, I'm like, this is great. This is what I want to be a part of. These are the type of people that I want to be around. And, again, the community of people that were around, like Bobby has been awesome to know and a great resource for me. Sam is a great, when I come in and talk to them, the culture here is very accepting of people. And when you first start trying to lose weight, I struggle to articulate this sometimes, but there's this kind of moment where you've changed and potentially you don't look the part yet, and nobody's treating you any different yet. You know what I mean?
So this is something that I've been dealing with, but also been hearing a lot of podcasts and stuff. They call it like the lonely phase. The lonely phase in business is where your business is growing, but you're still not like the millionaire group, so they're not really accepting you yet. Yeah. But you're also like past the average Joe that's kind of just like day by day, whatever, going to the bar, but you're in this middle ground where they call it the lonely phase. Yeah. And I'd assume that's similar to like a weight loss journey. You're not going to the bar, you're not grubbing at parties and everything. So those friends kind of are like, oh, yeah, Eric's being weird, man. Yeah. Get rid of him.
Yeah, he's no fun anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then the gym is kind of like, who's that guy over there that just showed up?
Yeah, exactly. You're new to the group. No one really knows you. You haven't really earned their respect. And I think that back to before, I mean, I mentioned that I have to drive the conversation, but I think what it is more is that the gym bros, I like 5 a.m. Workout.
Yeah. How do you do that every day?
For me, again, that community, those people that I see every morning at 5, that's how I do it every day.
That's why you show up every day?
Hell yes, because it's the same reason I used to go to the bar. It's like, these are my friends, and if I don't show up, they're going to be like, where are you at, bro? You gave up on everything today or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, you don't care anymore or whatever. They know when my rest day is. Sometimes our chest days line up, you know what I mean? They're like, oh, they know exactly when I'm PRing, you know, they know, and those are the homies, man. And to be honest, I needed that so bad.
Maybe I need to start showing up at 5 a.m. saying Eric's going to be there. I need to go.
Well, actually, I mean, I because it's the beginning of the new year, I tell people this all the time. I get a lot of DMs of people that are overweight and they're making changes. I get them all year, but I get them particularly often in the beginning of the year. And they do things like they share with me like, oh, I did CrossFit today. And I try to be always 100% support. I did Zumba today. Great. That's great. I did Pilates. Great. I don't do Pilates. I don't do Zumba. I don't do CrossFit. But
keep moving.
Keep moving. It's great. That's awesome. That is so awesome. And like, I started on an elliptical. You know what I mean? Like, that wasn't the most effective way to exercise. But
I tell a lot of customers, I'm like, hey, if you're not going to the gym, you're just eating healthy, go for a walk in the morning and go for a walk before bed.
Yeah.
Keep moving.
And I know I'm all over the place, but I wanted to talk about, so in the conversation with Ryan.
Yeah.
First of all, I loved his message. Was just awesome. Really lines up with mine, and many compliments on him and you guys' interview.
You guys should chat sometime.
I've been messaging him since I saw the interview. I'm like, man, we got a lot in common, man. But I wanted to say about darn, I forgot what I was going to say now. I lost my train of thought. Well, it was something about that interview with him and the
balance part of it, like how the intermittent fasting also saves time. It also, it's not so intensive.
I can't remember if that's exactly what I was going to say, but I did want to also note that, that was a huge factor for me, was the ability to, I love that he talks about, like, how do you fit this into your actual life? How do you make this accessible? Oh, I know what I was going to say. I was really excited to talk about, because I wanted one of you guys to mention that the barrier of entry, or I'm sorry, like, to get the benefits of exercise, the minimum requirement is so small. Like, people think, I will work out every day at 5. Sometimes it's a 2-hour workout. Like, that's because I like it, not because I need it. It's all anyone has to do is, a couple body weight squats in the morning, go for a nice little walk. And that's what I meant to say about the If With Ryan videos. Like,
he simplifies it.
Yeah, he makes it real easy, and it doesn't have to be complicated. I lift weights and I love weightlifting. I've really fallen in love with that part. But that's because I've fallen in love with that part. If you fall in love with tennis or whatever, like, that's also really, really awesome and so much better than just sitting on your butt all day doing nothing and making, these small habits become long life, 20 years of being 350 pounds. And that's what happened to me.
So you'd say it was more your kids were really the why you did it?
It still is a big part of my why. I mean, I get my kids, it makes me feel awesome when my son, for example, is, we've been learning the deadlift.
Okay.
And
how old's your son now?
He's 9, about to be 10 this month. And he's so proud of himself when he gets more weight. You know what I mean? And it's like, I get that, dude. Like, I feel exactly that same feeling every single time. That's why I don't drink. That's why I'm like, when it's like, do you want to drink? No, I'm good. I'll have a soda water, because I want more than I want to have.
You want optimal.
I want to be able to go and lift one more rep this week. And if I know if I have a drink, I won't be able to. And I wanted to say about the drinking too, because I always like to provide this caveat. I think it's all these like little choices. Sometimes having a drink is the right choice. Like, you and your buddy going out and tying one on. I think for a lot of people, that is a necessary and worthwhile investment in like the time with your friends. And the only reason that I don't is because I spent 20 years doing that nonstop. Like, you know what I mean?
You're like done with it. You're like,
I used to, when I was a bartender, I used to have this guy who would come in all the time, and he would say, I already drank my share. He didn't drink, but he would come in and he would drink soda, and he just liked being at the bar. And he would always say, I already drank my share. And I thought that was a great way to like kind of frame it. It's like, listen, I'm not against it. I get it. I'm here with you, brother. But I already had my, you only get so much. And I've tapped out at, 30, 38 or whatever when I stopped having so much drink. So, yeah, I don't know. I can't remember what to tie it all up together, but I enjoyed the If with Ryan episode a lot, and I really liked that. His whole thing is exactly what I would love for everyone who's trying to get into weight loss to kind of learn, just to take it easy.
Yeah, and
make it easy.
I tell people all the time with like the when they get their in-body scan, like I need to get this many calories and get this much protein in. You don't. We can start with small meals. That's how I started my 75 hard challenge last year. I am not a big eater. I don't really like. I mean, I like bad foods.
Sure,
everyone does.
yeah.
But like when it comes to like prepping out 6-7 meals a day, I have to take it slow. I'll prep tiny meals and just get those in. So I'll do, prep my 6 meals, or I usually do like 4 and a few shakes. But I'll prep them small and just start small because I can scarf down a little bit of chicken and rice, and then you build that momentum towards eating full meals rather than prepping out 6 ounces of chicken, a full cup of rice for 4 meals a day, 2 more protein shakes. You're just like, ooh.
That reminds me of something I think about a lot for what I always want to communicate to really heavy people is that your appetite is actually like a huge blessing, because there's a lot of people that want to eat more and can't. And like I have this, I think one of the kind of reasons that I've been able to see so much success in my weightlifting journey and physique wise is because I am able to eat a lot.
You still have a big appetite?
I cannot stop eating. Like even now, like, my coach, we've been, it's been 2 years actually today, ironically. And
who are you coaching with?
Toby.
Oh yeah.
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 And it's like, in the beginning, he was just adding in protein. And I remember I went low carb. When I first met him, I was doing low carb, no carb. And that was the absolute worst idea
energy
for me. Yeah. I had zero energy. I was like just plateaued all over the place.
That's interesting though, dieting though. Everyone, like, we have a lot of intermittent fasting people that have huge success. We have a lot of people that do low carb that have huge success.
Yeah.
But then other people like me, low carb is death. Like I feel horrible.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't function well off it.
Me
I feel
either.
no power in the gym.
Yeah. And I get no gains, and my workouts 100% suffer. And then so I lose like the enjoyment of it too, because I start to get kind of discouraged, and my mood kind of crumbles with it. And it's just, it's a big, I don't know, everything kind of goes down the tube.
Yeah. But everyone has their own little thing that works for them.
Right.
My brother loves carnivore diet.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get down with it.
Yeah, I think I've landed in more of a, to me it feels more like a high carb diet than, I think I probably have more carbs and fats than I used to, for sure. So
yeah. So what got you started with Next Level Marketing? Have you always been in marketing, or is that a newer business, or is it an evolution of a business?
All right, so this is my favorite story, and I'll try to do it the brief one, because I can wax poetic. So. I knew I wanted to be a rock star since I was a kid, and
like literal rock star. Like
that was my plan.
You want to be in a band.
I want to be a rock star. I want to be probably the front man. But
are you in a band?
I'm not now, but I do still play a lot. I don't perform, but I play for my kids and to myself.
Okay.
So in my early 20s, I was probably my first business was just playing music. People would pay me like $50 in a bar tab typically. One time, my favorite part of this story is one time someone paid me $300 to stop. I was never awesome. I was never, breaking any, never selling a lot of records,
Yeah.
But I was good at getting people to come to the show. And so my second business was, I wouldn't even have called it marketing, graphic design, but that's, I guess, technically what it was. I knew how to put words on pictures. And in 2006, 2007, that was actually kind of like a rare ability. And so I used that to, bars would hire me, again, paying me pretty small. And that was my first business. And again, I'm not trained in marketing at all. I just knew how. I literally had an app for my iPad where I could add text to images. And
I think of that a lot sometimes, like where Canva has taken us.
Yeah.
And like these simple apps that now anyone can do.
Unbelievable.
Huge graphic, like, I mean, not huge, but still really, really good where if you took this back and you said, hey, I made this in 5 minutes, people would be mind blown.
We use Canva at Next Level all the time. And because I'm a big fan of like using a tool, like sometimes Adobe is necessary, sometimes, Photoshop or whatever. But a lot of times Canva will do the trick and then we'll do it faster and then we'll do it easier. And if you can do it faster and you can do it easier for the same quality, it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, come on. Well, anyway, so the marketing business started that way, and eventually I had this company called 99 Restaurants in New England. They have like 110 locations. They saw a jog vlog I did, which is kind of a funny full circle moment where I was really heavy and I would like shaky cam film myself jogging, and it was like funny because I was like, I can barely breathe, and I raised like $5,000 for this charity, Dana-Farber Cancer Research, and they were kind of impressed by that, and so they hired me to be the 99 guy. And so if you Google 99 guy, you can find videos still up, at least last I looked, of me doing. I got to go to Fenway Park. I got all these great things, and I'm like, this is what I want to do.
When was this? This was
probably 2010, something around there, maybe 12.
Were you still the Smooth Bear then?
Yeah, I've been the Smooth Bear since Twitter launched. Was my first the Smooth Bear handle, and I've just kind of always been this this young lady who I used to babysit. She learned about bears in school, and at the time she was like 4 or something. And she said, "You're like a bear, but you don't have any hair. You're like a smooth bear." And I thought it was kind of a clever line. And it really worked in my favor because I've kind of leaned into that for, a really long time.
Okay.
It's been the handle on all the platforms, the Smooth Bear.
Okay. So you started with Twitter, and was that where you're posting your running vlogs at?
So the jog vlog was on YouTube, and at the time, I think I was linking it because this is so long ago that you could link a YouTube video over to Facebook. Facebook didn't have video available yet. And so my audience was mostly on Facebook, but sharing the YouTube videos over. And I think what I've always been really good at is quality over quantity when it comes to audience building. And probably why I like the culture and everything, the compliment for you, because to me, a lot of agencies will come in and talk about numbers. And I can buy you numbers. Anybody can buy numbers.
Yeah.
And Next Level, who cares about numbers if it doesn't bring you revenue? Like if you got 1 million views, who gives a shit? Yeah, exactly. High five. I can buy you 1 million views for not even that much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty easy. Followers, a couple $100, you have all the followers you can dream of. But what does it matter if it doesn't bring you revenue? People, what they really want is revenue. When people hire Next Level, they're looking for, when we talk about fundraising, like that's how that kind of started, was like, there's only 200 people watching this video every day. It's not huge numbers. But how did he raise $5,000 though? Because those 200 people actually watched the video. They know who I am. They know when my kid was born, they sent me a gift. You know what I mean? They bought into the brand. They bought into the kind of the culture that I was trying to build. And anyways, that's largely how that's my sort of philosophy in marketing is that, that's way more important.
So that's like the viewership between like Instagram and TikTok to like YouTube. So our YouTube videos get anywhere from like 100 to like 300 views. And then our Instagram and TikTok, like Instagram especially, we'll get 6,000, 10,000 views. But the 300 that watched the YouTube video or the podcast, I'll get more comments of like, hey, I've been watching your podcast.
Right.
I watched that with Eric. I watched that with Justin.
Yeah.
People really watch YouTube versus on Instagram. It's just a view, and it's a swipe in their thing. Like I watch Kaylee watch TikTok sometimes.
Yeah.
And she's like this.
Yeah.
Like a second, a swipe, a second, a swipe. And I'm like, you didn't even watch that. Like,
yeah.
Like I'm more invested in seeing what the video was than she is.
Yeah, and you're looking over the shoulder. It's like, and actually, she's according to the data, she is exactly what everyone else does. Like probably even you do it, and you don't even know it. You know what I mean? Like if you're, you know what I mean? Like it's like that's how everyone is consuming it.
You're searching for that video.
Absolutely. But it does hold a very important place. I mean, in my newsletter, I talk about this a lot. Like, it is important to have that top funnel. And I think it's important to participate in the reels and the TikToks and to live in that sphere. However, it is just the top funnel. And it's like a lot of people get obsessed with the top funnel and they're like, man, I really want this creative video to go viral. It's going to change my life. Nah, man, that's not how it works. If you didn't build your website already, if you don't have a call to action on the website, if you don't have, all these things set up, who
I
cares?
always think of that people that go viral. Like Kaylee went viral on TikTok when TikTok first came out. I think she got like 4.5 million. And then all the videos after that had like a couple 100K, whatever. I think she had one more hit like 1 million. And then it festered off like TikTok does for most people. But it's like, man, if you had something, something linked to that TikTok when that million happened.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, that's exactly it. And if you didn't build that already, then when you go viral, it means nothing. It ends up being nothing in terms of revenue because you didn't build all that stuff first. A lot of people, they go viral and then they're like, oh man, I want to monetize it. Yeah, it's like kind of too late. Not too late because it's never too late, but it's too late to capitalize on the first one. Now you got to go back and you got to go viral again now that you've built everything. And that's,
which is hard.
Real hard. People come to me all the time. Eric, let's go viral. I don't know how to go viral. I don't have an answer for you.
I always see those ad agencies and stuff. We'll teach you to go viral. We go viral. We've gone viral 90 out of 100 videos. Yeah. I'm like, I don't think you did.
Even if that's true, even if they did figure out like today's method of going viral, because I think there are people that are good at, gaming, what I would call gaming the system. And I think that is like, there's a place, honestly, Bailey is, good at that kind of stuff. And I think that part is important to know how to like play the game on the platform.
Are you guys familiar with Joey Muccio?
Yes, Bailey, absolutely.
So you guys follow him? He got popular on Vine way back. He has stayed popular though.
Yeah.
And he's popular on every platform.
Yeah.
Which you don't see very often. So kudos to him. But a lot of people, they'll be big on Instagram and then you look at their YouTube and they don't have anything. Or they're big on TikTok and you look at their Instagram, they don't have anything.
Right.
He is popular across the board.
Yeah.
And I mean, besides consistency, I've always wondered what is his thing? Like, how does he do it over and over?
I mean, I think when you see that sort of thing, like my favorite, this is going to show my age, but there's this guy, John Green, or his brother, Hank Green. They're the Vlog brothers from when I was in my early 20s, but now they're, one of them wrote The Fault in Our Stars, I think. Is that right? Do you know what I'm talking about? That book?
Okay.
Anyways, wherever they go, they start with huge audiences. And they've been doing this for 25 years. And the reason why they start with huge audiences is because people like me, every time I open up an app, I'm invested in these guys. I love these guys. I know them better than I know most of the people in my family. You know what I mean? Like,
so you're always looking them up?
I always look them up. I always look them up, and it's one of the first things I look up because I know that, like, so I think with anyone who is able to achieve that, it's because they built that community, because they do have a quality audience over a quantity audience.
I would say Joey definitely has a quality.
100%. These are people that
I know the guy. Like, I've worked out with him and everything.
Oh, nice.
And I still follow him like pretty regularly because I think what I think is really cool is he's a pretty straight up dude. Like, he is how he is on social media.
Yeah.
Like, there is no different Joey. So I think that's really cool. And I mean, he's just an animal.
Yeah.
What do you think about this being in like the marketing space and social media? What do you think about new platforms and like trying to catch the edge and go viral? Like, so Lemonade came out, which kind of was a dud, I think.
Yeah.
Threads came out, but it ended up just being an extension of Facebook. I'm always trying to like see the next one.
Yeah.
And I make an account right away just to see what it's about.
Yeah.
And check the virality of it and check what could go off, because TikTok, everybody was going viral in the beginning. You know?
Absolutely. I built my company that way by riding the wave of the new. And I think it's a really important skill to obtain, is to go on the new platform and ride that wave. There's tons of ground to gain. The only rub is that today, I don't know, I don't want to be too negative, but it's a little bit, I don't know that there will be another platform, because
It does seem all too dominated.
It's, the rails are controlled by Apple and Meta and Facebook and Google they don't want anyone new, and they are gonna buy probably whoever comes into the space. So I mean, I don't think what you can sort of ride is the new wave of features, and that I think is what I would call like Threads right now. It's more of a feature of the
I see
Meta
you posting
products.
on there.
Yeah, I post there, and because there is ground to gain.
Any
there.
traction?
Tons. And I would say Threads is a great place to be a little bit controversial.
So what I was doing on Threads was I was answering supplement and fitness questions. I didn't stay consistent with it, honestly. But I was getting feedback from people. So like, people post in there, hey, gym people, like, what pre-workout do you take?
Sure.
I would just answer it and then like send a link.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, beautiful.
I think it's super easy. I don't know if it was actually beneficial or like funneled anyone over.
Yeah.
But I mean, the links are out there. The questions are answered. So.
Yeah. And this is like, I would call this like, mostly like top funnel. There's the opportunity to push people down, but mostly top funnel stuff. But, if you go on there, like I posted one of my more popular posts on Threads has been about creatine. And I said that, I can't remember exactly how I phrased it, but basically I deliberately phrased it in a way that was like, screw creatine. Although my official opinion is that, it is an important supplement, but I think people start with creatine instead of starting with hard work in the gym and managing their nutrition and stuff like that. They're looking for like, as though it's going to
be the thing.
Yeah. Right. And to me, it's like a around the edges supplement versus like when you compare it to actual lifting.
So in the store, what we do is we get people that come in that read on the internet, they need a fat burner, they need a creatine, they need a protein. And like our opening line is like, all right, let's start with the in-body scan and see what you actually need.
Yeah.
Let's get you on there, see your basal metabolic rate, see your lean body mass, see your hydration.
Right.
And go from there.
Yeah.
Let's not just sell you a fat burner because you read your girlfriend or boyfriend takes one. And I think that's been a big, changing people's spending habits of not just buying a random product, but actually getting them on things they need, like micronutrients, for example.
Right.
Like, micronutrients should be the start. That's
have a much more beneficial effect than starting with, creatine. You're doing nothing. You go add creatine. It's like, okay, maybe there is a video or two about how beneficial it is, and they might be right. I mean, I don't know, but to me, you'd be better off, like you said, starting with getting all your vitamins in.
We always say micronutrients is how you feel, macronutrients is how you look.
Yeah, there you go.
We need to start with the micro, so you're feeling good, so you're getting out of bed in the morning, so you're moving good.
Yeah.
And then we'll add in the proteins and the carbs and the fats. I mean, we're not going to add in. You're always going to be eating those.
Right.
But then we're going to worry about those next because if you don't have a good foundation, you're never going to, you're never going to equate to everything else.
Exactly. Okay, awesome. So since I did just go pee, I think it's fitting that I ask a question about hydration. When you were interviewing with, is it Dom or Don? Donovan.
Yeah.
You guys talked about how the pre-workout, most people aren't hydrated enough to get the effects of the pre-workout, and that's why they shouldn't dry scoop and stuff like that. I'm curious, can you say more about which stuff needs to be hydrated and like how does that work? I'm just curious.
All of the pump products, blood flow products, require you to be hydrated. You need a good amount of water in the body for like glycerol to absorb. If you're dehydrated, you're pretty much just going to excrete it. And then also just hydration for everything. I mean, you need to be hydrated. Have you ever had an energy drink without water? Right. I mean, if you're not hydrated, an energy drink just doesn't feel right. You're like, you get that weird like buzz, antsy feeling.
Sure.
So yeah, you just an activating factor of you need the water in the pre-workout. A lot of them they actually activate with water. So like you shake it up, you're actually activating that pre-workout before you drink it. Yeah. So when you just are eating the powder, it just goes right down to your stomach acid and gets broken down. Now, granted, you still feel some of it, but you're not going to get that full effect.
Sure. I mean, I always put it in a shaker, in a fitness society shaker, of course.
Good.
But I just was curious because as you guys were talking about it, I thought, a lot of times I haven't hydrated before I take the pre-workout. I mean, I'm hydrating. I have a jug there that I bring around with me basically everywhere I go, but probably only had. In the morning, by the time I take my pre-workout, I've not had that much water yet. So I just was curious that when I was listening to that, I was like, oh, I wonder if I'm underhydrating ahead of my pre-workout or.
Proper hydration definitely has a big play in performance and pump, especially in the gym.
You guys have helped me with that a lot because when I first started out, I was often dehydrated, but I was low on electrolytes. And I really think electrolytes is an underrated supplement for sure.
Super underrated. And we are really getting it to catch on for our in-store shoppers.
Cool.
But that was a big thing for me. I've probably told you this. I got my blood work done when we first opened the store, or like 6 months in. And I was drinking my energy drinks, drinking my gallons of water from Publix. But I was like dying at 3 o'clock. I was so tired.
Yeah.
So I went and got blood work done because I thought I was dying. I was like, there's something wrong with me.
For sure, yeah.
I was like 25 years old, needing
definitely, definitely terminal cancer for sure. That's what I would always assume.
So I got my blood work done, and my minerals were like bone dry because caffeine is a diuretic, and then gallons of water from Publix. I'm sorry, there's nothing in them. You know, there's nothing to hold that water in the body.
Yeah.
So that was a very personal experience for me. So I always share that.
When I was going low carb, I was drinking water, but I was way low on electrolytes. And I guess it's kind of common if you go really low carb, no carb, because you're not getting electrolytes from food either, or there's a lot of that you could get from food, or that's what I saw a video about. And anyway, you guys recommended to supplement with Element T. And that is really, or Element. I never know if it's.
Yeah, I say both. Element.
Yeah, exactly. But I started supplementing with that. And that's really had a lot of positive effects on my workouts and everything. I do 1 to 2 a day. And it's been awesome.
I always notice when I'm not using my multivitamin or my electrolytes. I do fall off. Like I forget to take them sometimes.
Sure.
And within a few days, I'm like, something's not right. Like I just don't feel as in tune.
And the other supplement that I love that you guys, I mean, obviously my pre-workout of choice is God of Rage, and I'm a big fan, and that's why I love that.
It's our best seller.
Yeah,
4 years strong.
I get why, and those guys, speaking of marketing, they know what they're doing, man. They put that jacked God of Rage on the label. Like I buy into that hook, line, and sinker. You know, I mean, I feel like the God of Rage when I take it.
Yeah,
I love that, but also. You guys recommended a digestive supplement that's been really positive for me. It's the Good Morning. There you go. I love that thing, and that's been a regular addition to my nutrition, and it's been a huge help. And I think that because I'm a big fan of like whole foods and whole ingredients and stuff like that, but not for the reasons that I think most people think. And I think that supplements are an incredible. Like I think there's a group of people that are kind of inclined to push them away, and I want to encourage people to use the ones that are necessary. You know what I mean, and consider using the ones that talking to you guys about.
I think what happens when people think supplement store just from marketing them and selling them, people right away like put up this guard like I don't take supplements,
right? And
you're like, okay, well, I think it's like 75% of the population takes supplements.
Sure.
So that's supplement something, whether you're supplementing caffeine, you're supplementing your vitamins, your minerals, your protein shake, you're taking some kind, or a pre-workout, that's a supplement.
Sure.
And they put this guard up, I don't take supplements. It's like, hey, dude, I'm not trying to sell you a pre-workout or a protein. I would like to find you what's actually going to help you, like your electrolyte, your vitamin, or your gut health.
Yeah.
Like last night, I had like a boring day in store. It was like pre-workout sale, and awesome, I love it. Like I'm so glad like they're supporting Fitness Society, but there's no fun in like body scan protein, body scan pre-workout, and they don't want to talk about anything else. Oh, I don't need that, or I get 1 a day men's from Walmart. It's like damn it, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like let me just show you. Like sometimes I wish we just had the funds to give products away,
right,
and be like, hey, take this vitamin, take this fiber, for a week, and let me know how you feel. We actually do it with the Fiber Plus sometimes. Like when we get women in that deal with bloating, we'll give them like 3-4 scoops of it and be like, hey, try it for the next 3 days. Don't miss a day.
Yeah, I mean, I know that you can't. I don't. Maybe delete this if you don't want to say this online. But I mean, you guys have given me quite a few samples that I've really enjoyed getting, and it's helped me, make a better decision, especially with protein. Although, right now, I mean, speaking of the supplements, I'm not doing any protein shake. Because I've had a little bit of a digestive issues, and that was something that I just could never find one that worked for me. But there's so many other different types of supplements that fitness society has turned me on to that have had really, really like big effects on my workouts and my weight loss and my nutrition and just the general like enjoyment of foods. Like when I talk about that digestive one, you know, I can eat foods that for a little while I couldn't eat, you know, and so you know, I'm a big fan of the fitness society. And if I could get one thing across to the audience listening today, it's to come in here and even if no matter what part of your fitness journey you're on, that you guys would come in here and, you know, get a body scan and talk to Connor, Callie, Bobby, Sam. I think there's someone else in the Babcock store that her name is escaping me, but
Emily, Josh.
Emily,
there's
Josh.
A few other
Thank
ones.
you. Yeah. But whoever it is, it's just been a huge value to me and my weight loss journey. So
awesome. Well, Eric, thank you very much for coming on today, guys. If you could like, subscribe to the channel, we'd really appreciate it. Check out the Smooth Bear.
That's right.
Next Level Marketing. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you very much.